What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gem. Well, I don't want to hear a whole lot about Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko and him being a legend, or, Bob Arum actually called him at one time greater than Muhammad Ali. We all know that's not the truth now that he has those 3 L's on his record, but we've always, at least me, I've always looked at him as a warrior, a tough guy that would take on all comers. Well, guess what? That changes today. Through his manager, the world was informed that Vasil Lomachenko's heart is not in boxing right now. He's not motivated. Some of the similar things he was saying after the Devin Haney decision, in which he felt like he won the fight. I felt he won too. But the reason why I say I'm calling bull BS, because he fought George Kambosos after that, and his motivation was just fine. He had a brilliant victory. He just basically, it wasn't even close. He dominated George Kambosos, which showed me his heart seems to be in the boxing when the opportunity's right, or there's an opportunity to fight for a world title against a not so great opponent in which he's pretty much guaranteed to win. Same I said for Devin Haney when he went over to Australia for Undisputed. Nobody's taking a big risk as a world-class fighter to go fight George Kambosos. So again, I call BS because his heart looked just fine. He's coming off a huge win. His popularity is high as it's ever been. And we look to be getting ready to have a mega fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. They were supposedly both in negotiations, both prior to Tank's fight and since they resumed them. I think more than likely what happened is he saw what Tank did to Frank Martin. He sees the maturity in which Tank is conducting himself with, the seriousness of his training regimen, and he just seems to be coming into his own as an elite, high level fighter, like generational talent type fighter. And I think he's making a business decision to say, you know what, I'm not motivated by money and I don't want this smoke. They went as far as to say, he's not motivated by money, even tens of millions of dollars. If he's not motivated to box, then he's not going to do it. He's going to sit for the rest of the year and start training maybe towards the end of this year and look to fight again next year. I think what he's doing is basically saying, without saying it, I don't want to be Tank's next opponent. He's going to move out the way, allow Tank to negotiate with someone else. And once you see Tank has a fight announced, my feeling is you'll see Vasil Lomachenko announcing something not too long afterwards. I think this is unfortunate for Tank, because I think this was going to be a career-defining legacy fight, a mega event for Tank in this fight. And that's an opportunity lost, unfortunately. But fortunately for us as boxing fans, there was a short list released by a credible source, Michael Benson, saying what Tank's short list of opponents is for his next opponent. 3 names named. I like all 3 of them. Of course, and pretty much everybody else that's really paying attention in America anyway, to Gervonta Tank Davis, choice would be Shakur Stevenson. I'm from Jersey, so even though I have not been pleased with all of Shakur Stevenson's performances, I am a fan of his as well as Tank's. I do understand he is an extremely highly skilled fighter, great defensive fighter, great amateur pedigree, Olympic silver medalist, and I think it will be a challenging fight for Tank. I said this a few years ago. But with that being said, the unfortunate part of that is they're probably going to be looking to make the biggest event. And with the numbers that Shakur did in his homecoming in Jersey a couple weeks ago, in which I was in attendance, it was clearly not a sellout, but I still thought he broke 10,000. Official number comes out. He sold 9,000 and something seats. It was on free TV on ESPN. The viewerage was reported to be the highest boxing event on ESPN this year, but that's free TV. Doesn't really put him in a good place when it comes to negotiations for Gervonta Tank Davis, and just may not be as big of a fight because of his last couple performances. And I don't think, to be honest, even though I love to see the fight, I don't see Al Heyman and Tank Davis taking a lesser money fight, you know, at this time. I do believe they want the Shakur fight, but if they're looking for money, the biggest fight out there is probably going to be a rematch with Pitbull Cruz, who's also on the short list, who's moved up to 140 and won a title. Tank has said he's not really ready to go to 140 right now from, you know, what I've seen. So I think the most logical and probable, especially since Oscar De La Hoya mysteriously came out and said he's not interested in signing Shakur no more, and he's not really interested in making a Shakur and Williams Zepeda fight, that may be a pretty good indicator that he knew these talks were going the way they were going, and that he'd have a chance to get Williams Zepeda, or make Williams Zepeda Tank Davis, which is going to be, not, like I said, not my favorite fight. I'd rather see Shakur versus Tank, but probably, you know, if not the biggest, the second biggest fight that could be made for Tank Davis right now. Williams Zepeda is an all-action fighter, extremely high knockout ratio, almost as high as Tank's, undefeated guy, and has a whole country in Mexico behind him. And we know historically with Tank, Al Heyman, and when Floyd Mayweather had him, you know, made a pretty, you know, consistent habit of making fights between him and Mexican fighters, because they feel black and Mexican fighters sell the best. So that's pretty much going to be my prediction. I think we're going to end up seeing Tank versus Williams Zepeda. He'll also flex on Shakur Stevenson in that, and showing him that if I want your opponent, I can take him, like he did with Ryan Garcia from Devin Haney. But that's all I have for y'all right now. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.